Welcome everybody to Beyond the Shoot. We're going back to school with the Smackdown after WrestleMania. So Smackdown opens up with Shane McMahon. You know, he's praising SmackDown, he's thanking New Orleans for NXT, for WrestleMania, for Raw, for SmackDown, and he announces, you know, Daniel Bryan is no longer GM, he is a full-time wrestler, we have to have a new GM. So he announces none other than Paige. That itself gets an A+. That was exciting. We knew she was going to be involved somehow in the wrestling industry, but for her to be the general manager of SmackDown, this makes it even better than what Daniel Bryan did as general manager. So of course she panders to the crowd, everybody's excited, everybody's happy, and she makes her first match. Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles to end the night. That segment alone was an A+. Good job, SmackDown. So up next, the first match of the night, we have the tag team match. We have Usos versus the New Day. They have put on some of the greatest matches we've seen in the tag team division since Edge, Christian, Dudley's, and the Hardy Boys. So I was excited to see that. So the match starts, and of course, they put on a show. That got a B+. They did what they didn't do on WrestleMania. They had the match that we all wanted to see. And the commentators were teasing this possibly might be the last match that these two have, of course, with the shakeup next week on Raw. And, you know, at the end, they ended it. Usos won, which I feel like needed to happen. They showed more, you want to say, power, strength versus the Bludgeon Brothers. I really didn't see the Usos losing because they have a hot streak right now. So, of course, they get the win, and that itself gets a B+. And Bludgeon Brothers comes out, shows, we're ready for you guys, Usos. Next up, we have Naomi versus Natalya. In my opinion, this was a filler match. They were just going off the hype that Naomi got with the win at the Battle Royal. It wasn't much storytelling. It wasn't much, oh, okay, you know, they're going to feud. This is going to go on. Like I said, it was just a filler match. It was a show, you know, that she won. And I give it a C+. It was a decent match. Natalya, of course, has experience to put people over, to show other people's strengths. I just feel that Naomi botches too much. And you can kind of catch when she does stuff like that. And I personally don't like that. I really don't see her becoming champion again. But it was a nice filler match, and I guess we're going to see what goes on with the storyline if she goes to Raw, once again with that shakeup. So up next, we have Charlotte. She comes out, she's happy for her win. She praises Asuka for giving her the competition that she did. And she would say nobody can beat her. So we're expecting, you know, somebody to come out. We're expecting, you know, Carmella to come out, whoever to come out. And I called it. Peyton Royce comes out. Yes, she comes out with her partner, and they come out, and they have that heel look. They brought the energy from NXT to the main roster. I called it. I was excited. I jumped up in the air and I cheered. I'm a Peyton Royce fan. I'm in love with Peyton Royce. That's my heart speaking. But I was excited. It was awesome. She comes out and they're funny. They're great heels. They made it interesting, and to top it off, they have that villain vibe. They have that evil witch type of vibe, and they beat down Charlotte. They beat her down. Of course, they were dragging her into the ring. They're leaving, and whose music hits? Carmella's. We all knew she was going to cash in. We thought it was going to be WrestleMania, but they gave Charlotte her WrestleMania moment. So then, yes, Carmella comes in, and she cashes in, and she is now the new women's champion. That itself, I'm going to give a B. I'm going to give that a grade. I'm going to give that a B. I'm not going to give it an A because I feel like she had no momentum going into this to be the champion, but I'm going to give it a B because she actually cashed in and succeeded. Unlike Baron Corbin, she succeeded. So I'm excited. I want to see what happens with Carmella, if she challenges other superstars, or who gets called up next, or who from Raw comes and challenges her. I want it to be Becky Lynch. I feel like she deserves it, and she needs to do it. Next up, we have the typical triple threat. The winner of this faces Jinder Mahal at the Saudi Arabia pay-per-view. I personally already want to give this an F because we've seen this way too many times. We've seen Randy Orton, we've seen Bobby Roode, we've seen Jinder Mahal all mixed up in the same storyline for the past 3 to 4 months, and it has gone absolutely nowhere. Even after WrestleMania, when we thought it was concluded, nowhere. But the insert of Rusev picks it up to a C. That alone was always going to get a grade elevated. So yes, I was excited. I was rooting for Rusev. He's going to win. It has to be. He's too over. The matches he had with Jinder had potential to be really good matches. He brought out something that Orton and Bobby couldn't versus Jinder. He brought it out in him. So yes, I was excited to see that. To see Randy Orton win dropped it back down to an F. I don't want to see Randy Orton versus Jinder Mahal. I hated it when it happened the first time, the second time, the third time. I hated it when the Great Khali got involved. This does not need to happen. This is not what WWE Universe wants. I do not know why Vince McMahon keeps trying to shove this down our throats, but stop and give it to Rusev. So to end SmackDown, we have the fantasy match. We have the dream match at WrestleMania. Now we have the fantasy match. Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles. They fought plenty of times at Ring of Honor. So for them to fight for the first time on WWE is what everybody has been wanting to see. So finally, Daniel Bryan's second match back, first on live TV versus AJ Styles. That's a must-watch match. That itself is going to get a B+. With a match, I would want to give it an A. I really want to give it an A. But there was no storyline behind it, so it couldn't really develop a story with the wrestling. And I felt like it was cut too short. If they were given maybe another 15 minutes, 10 minutes, it would have picked up and elevated to an A+. But you see Daniel Bryan's rustiness from time to time, and he's only going to get better from here. But you saw it, and at the end of that, I felt so bad when AJ switched up his top of the rope move and landed on his head. I thought he got injured. I thought something happened. But of course, no, they're professionals. They played it off. That was cool how he was able to get up. Out of nowhere, Shinsuke comes, Kinshasa to the back of the head of Daniel Bryan, lays him out, goes off the ring. Kinshasa to AJ Styles, and 2 low blows. Shinsuke is a perfect heel. He has that demeanor. He has that look. He has that evil type laugh. I think he's gonna succeed to the top as a heel, even more than what he did as a face. This role fits him perfectly. Now to see him versus Daniel Bryan potentially, I'm ecstatic as a fan to see that. To see these three involved in a storyline, this is a wrestler's fan dream. So I'm excited for SmackDown. SmackDown overall gets a B+. It was awesome to end it after WrestleMania. I like that. I enjoyed every single segment of it besides the Naomi and Natalya match. Everything else was great. I'm afraid for the shakeup to see if all this chemistry that all these people, all these wrestlers have, if it kind of diminishes all that. But it can only get better from here. We have the potential to see Seth Rollins on SmackDown. We have the potential to see, we'll get Matt Hardy on SmackDown or The Miz or Finn Balor. Imagine Finn Balor, AJ Styles in the same show. That's just money right there. That's just pure money. But once again, guys, those are my grades. Those are my opinions. Click on the eye above. Give me your grades. If you want to give the women match an A, give it an A. Click it up here. But as you do that, don't forget, comment, like, subscribe down below. Let me know what you thought about this entire week. Let me know what you thought about NXT, WrestleMania, Raw, SmackDown. Once you do that, don't forget, follow me on Twitter, MyKetoBTS. I will see you guys tomorrow at NXT.